modes. I'm going to make this extremely quick because I'm busy and I know you're busy, and I know the quicker we can get in and out of this, the better. This is a brief overview, and you'll want to check other people's videos. You want to Google modes, but this is just for impatient people who would rather play it than say it. C Ionian. The first thing I think of is C major scale. That's pretty much all it is. C major scale. It's got 7 notes. Once you get to the 7th note, you're starting back at the first again in a different octave. Because it's a 7-note scale, there's 7 different places on the neck you can play it. Once you get to the 8th place, it's the octave again. So if you can learn the 7 modes throughout the whole neck, you can pretty much play anywhere on the neck. C Ionian is played over the C major chord. So major, I think of major as being really happy, and minor as being really sad, angry, pissed off. And because I'm a metalhead, I try to avoid all the happy stuff and get down to the angry, pissed off, testosterone-fueled side that we love so very much. So here's a very brief example of what C Ionian scale sounds like. Okay, D Dorian is the second mode of the C major scale. Just think of it this way. You're playing a C major scale, but instead of starting on the C, like you were in C Ionian, you're now starting on the D note. All the notes are still the same. It's still going to be all the, I don't know, natural notes or whatever they're called, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So C Ionian is a C major scale starting, on the C note. D Dorian is C major scale starting on a D note. Now D Dorian, the chord's going to be a D minor. When I think of D Dorian, I think of a couple things. I think of cool blues. I think of cool Eddie Van Halen solos. I think of cool George Lynch solos. The Pirate Modes by Guthrie Govan. It's blues, but it's cool. So with Dorian, as long as you kind of stick to a minor pentatonic vibe and then every now and then hit what I call the Dorian note, which for me sounds like the B note, you should be alright. Here's a brief example of what it sounds like. E Phrygian, not a big fan of. You play over E minor, and it's basically, like I said, C major scale starting on an E. I'm not a big fan of it, but it is something you use in metal. When I think of it, I think of Kirk Hammett, maybe Al Di Meola. It's got a very Spanish, dark, Egyptian almost type feel. So you can play all the harmonic minor stuff, sounds really good over the top of it, but it definitely gives you that dark Egyptian kind of feel. Look, just have a listen and decide for yourself. Now, F Lydian I like a lot. C major scale starting on an F note. The only people that I really know of that turned me on to Lydian was absolutely Joe Satriani and Steve Vai. Flying in a Blue Dream, the main part Lydian. Track 4 off that Vai thing. That's E Lydian. So when I think of Lydian, usually for the most part, I'll think of Vai and Satch. And it's basically, it gives me the feeling of like ethereal, outer spacey, superhero soundtrack kind of stuff. Everybody says it's a major It's a major scale with the raised fourth, and that is true, but I don't, that stuff doesn't really go into my consciousness. I just think of it as really majestic, ethereal sounding stuff. Close your eyes, have a listen, and see if you hear where I'm coming from. When I think of Mixolydian, I think of happy blues. I think of Satch Boogie. There's certain parts of that are Mixolydian, and it's you know, it's not so pentatonic-y. It's more three-note per stringy, but it can still be used in a blues context. But it's just happy blues, which is not always the case because a lot of Trent Reznor, Nine Inch Nail, a lot of his vocal lines are Mixolydian, so that doesn't always apply. So when I hear Aeolian, I think of any metal song ever written, pretty much. Aeolian is another way to say A minor scale. C major scale starting on an A note. That's the way I think of it. So it all kind of stems from there. It all kind of stems from A minor pentatonic, and then add a couple more notes, and it's now A minor, and then you can start doing your three-note per string stuff and start really tearing it up. B Locrian is horrible. It's a stepping stone. It's getting from here to here, and B Locrian should be that small. And if you can make B Locrian sound good for 16 bars, then you're an incredible guitar player, and I want to lick your balls. Avoid riding in Locrian.